Hi, I'm Brenda. Welcome back to my quilt room. It's been a little bit of time since we've been together, but I want to show you what I've been busy working on, and I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year. It is extremely cold where we are in our part of the country, but I have been sewing up a storm. I've been busy, and I want to show you what I've been working on. We'll just start over here on this side of the table. The quilt that I have hanging up behind me is a pattern by Coriander Quilts by Corey Yoder, and it's the jelly roll patchwork. And I had a jelly roll that I wanted to use. Now this one, it's out of print, but I'll tell you what it's called, Memory Lane, and I got it at Connecting Threads. My quilt came out to be 49 by 54. So I think it's a great size for a baby quilt. And I'm actually thinking about putting like a small 2.5-inch border of this brown just around the outside edge, just to kind of finish it off. But I love the colors. It looks real vintage to me. So I put this together just on one of these really cold days, and I'm real happy with it. I love scrappy patchwork, and it has a real scrappy look to it. But unfortunately, you can't get this particular fabric any longer, unless maybe somebody has it available in their Etsy shop. It was called Memory Lane, and it was by Connecting Threads. The next thing that I want to talk about, and I've mentioned it before in some of my other videos, there's the big dilemma. Should I pre-wash my fabric? Yes or no? Some people always do, others don't. I tend to not pre-wash my fabric unless it's very red or very blue. So over the winter time, my sister and I have been making all of these bowl cozies. And between the ones that I made for her and the ones that I made for somebody that were for sale, we've probably made 70 or 80 of these. And I'm still making some more. But I used this fabric that I purchased, and it's a Pioneer Woman fabric. And it made such a cute bowl, especially if you have like a blue and a white kitchen. So this is what it looks like. And I thought to myself, that has a lot of red and a lot of blue. I'm going to wash this before I use it. I was going to use it on the back of a quilt. Well, typically, and I'll do that and throw in, this is what I use, the Shout Color Catcher. And you just take the sheet out, and they're white, just take it out and unfold it and throw it in the wash. Usually there's hardly any dye ever when I've done this. Well, when I washed 6 yards of this is the color catcher when I took it out of the washing machine. So you can make up your own mind. If you want to pre-wash your fabrics, usually they're very color fast, but for some reason I just thought I better wash this first, because I would sure hate to give someone a quilt and it had all this blue and red fabric in it and they didn't know and they washed it and it faded. So that's just a tip on that. And then, like I said, I've made a bunch of these bowl cozies. I did a video on how to put these together, and that was about 5 months ago. And so that's out on the channel if you want to look it up. So there's that I've worked on. So I'll set these to the side. And the next thing I want to show you is this apron. And I've seen these and I wanted to make one. I'm sorry for stepping out of the frame. Anyway, it's really cute. I remember my grandmother having an apron. It didn't have any strings on it, and it crisscrossed in the back. Here's the back. And you just slip it over your head. And I've seen this reversible one. It takes 2 yards of fabric. It's by Mary Malari, and I hope I'm not butchering her name, but she has a website and you can purchase this pattern. And so I had this really pretty cheater cloth fabric, and I thought, oh, that would make a really cute apron. Let me show you the other side of the fabric because it's really cute. And I don't do a lot of garment making, but it has chickens on it. And I just thought it was absolutely adorable. I love this. It's so cute. The little chickens. So the pieces that I have left of the chickens, I'll probably fussy cut some of those out. But that was an easy project. I did it in an afternoon, and I'm probably a little bit rusty at the garment making because I don't make a lot of garments, but this is really beginner friendly, 1/4 inch seams, and like I did it in an afternoon. And these were the pieces that I had left over. And like I said, I think I'm going to fussy cut out some of the chickens and use those in another project. Also, I have been making these tote bags. This is one that I made. I did a video, Stash Buster Christmas Bags, and I made that video 4 years ago. Well, I was asked over Christmas to make some more of these bags. And so this is one that I made for my sister-in-law 4 years ago, and it looks really nice. Here's the back. It's quite heavy. She's got her Bible and like a study book and all kinds of things in there to take to church with her. So if you want to watch that video and see how I made this bag, that's out there. And it's called Stash Buster Christmas Bags. Okay, the next thing that I want to show you is a quilt, and it's here on the table. It's quite heavy. I couldn't pick it up. I will try to lift it up in a minute and show you what it looks like. It's called Gingham Foundry, and the pattern is from Riley Blake. And I think the fabric line is Gingham Foundry, My Mind's Eye by Riley Blake Designs. So you can find this pattern out on their website. And I actually, excuse me, when I saw this pattern, I thought, I think I have that jelly roll. And sure enough, I did. I had it. The quilt came out to be, for me, 65.5 by 81 long. And it didn't have a border per se listed in the pattern, so I pulled out a leftover piece of fabric I had from my stash, and that's what I used to border it. Now, it doesn't take a full jelly roll, so I want you to see here what all I had left over. I had a lot of these low volume that I chose to not put in the quilt because the sashing is off-white. But I have a bunch of these left over if you choose to do this. And so you know how much I hate waste. So I took a few of the scraps and I made this little scrappy pillow out of the strips that I had left over. I want to pick this up and show it to you because, again, I'm learning to do quilt as you go. I have a Baby Lock Jazz 2, and thus far I've only done straight line or wavy line quilting in my quilt as I go. This one was a little bit more challenging for me. I did put in the border, I did a cable. and it's very geometric. And I thought that would be easier than the wavy lines to try to follow with my walking foot. And I just stitched in the ditch around each of the blocks and a little bit over to the edge of my foot attachment when I did the sashing. I think it's beautiful. You may still be able to see some of the chalk lines. I used chalk to mark my stencil on the quilt. And then this is the back. And this is how I put the back together. I've showed you this before with the casing, and I joined them. I covered up the casing on the back where they're joined together by row or block to block, and then each row. And I wasn't sure what I was going to put on the back of the blue border, but one of my goals for this year is to not purchase more yardage of fabric and to use more of the yardage that I already have. And I had this left over, and I had enough of it to put on the back of the blue in the border. And then even in the binding, I save all my leftover binding because I do a lot of scrappy quilts, and so it really doesn't matter. So I had enough of these gray pieces that I was able to sew the rest of them together and use them for the binding on the quilt all the way around. So that is what I have been doing, what I've been working on. I haven't quit sewing. I know I haven't put out a video for a while, but I've made myself a little short list of projects that I would like to do and try this year. And I hope you'll stick around and see what I have for you the next time. So till we see you again, for now, bye.